Welcome to every movie I've ever seen. This is a special May the 4th edition where throughout the month of May I'm going to be reviewing the fourth film in franchises that I've not seen before. So I'm changing things up a little bit for the rest of the month. The month's coming to a close here. I gotta pick up the pace a little bit. My original intention was to watch films to watch the fourth film in a movie franchise that ended with four movies. That proved a lot more difficult than I thought it would. It's really hard to watch these movies, and I just didn't want to put in the effort, and I'm definitely not paying for them. So I'm just changing it up to watching the fourth film in a movie franchise that I've not seen the first three. So, so far, every franchise that I've done, with the exception of Hatchet, has fit this criteria. I talked about Meatballs 4. I did not see the first three Meatballs. So today, I'm talking about Leprechaun 4 in Space. So I've not seen the first three Leprechaun films. This movie was fine, I suppose. It's Warwick Davis plays a leprechaun and terrorizes people and says a bunch of puns, which I assume is just what the first three movies were, except now this one's in space. I know that's like a trope where a franchise will suddenly be in space now. I know Jason X, I think, goes to space. But yeah, I've not seen Leprechaun 1, 2, or 3. I don't know if they have subtitles or not. I wonder if maybe the first Leprechaun is a little bit more leans a little bit more horror, kind of like how I feel like Nightmare on Elm Street started off a little bit more horror based, and then leaned into comedy a little bit more. I wouldn't really know because I haven't seen Nightmare on Elm Street either. So, but yeah, the effects were fine. I can imagine people like this movie. Honestly, it's cheesy, campy, 80s sci-fi schlock. I would say, what's not to love, but I didn't really care at all. You don't like or connect to any of the characters, and the general story isn't really all that engaging. It's really just Warwick Davis making puns and one-liners the entire movie. And that's the movie. Honestly, there's not a whole lot to say about this movie. It's pretty simple and straightforward. It's probably one of the most basic movies I've seen in my entire life. I don't know if that's a plus or a minus, but it's it's just very basic and simple. Sure, maybe like the plot is, there's a lot going on plot wise, but that doesn't really mean anything, because the plot is just what happens, if that makes any sense. Like, sure, things happen, and those things that happen are scientific-y and action-y, but it's still generally basic, if that makes any sense. I don't know. These are kind of ramblings that I have. So I didn't have a whole lot to say about this. I wonder if this is something that we're okay with. Is this, are these I'm not trying to be that person, but like, are these Leprechaun films? Are these degrading at all? I don't know. Because I remember reading about Peter Dinklage, who's most famous for playing Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones, all 6 good seasons of that show. I remember reading he was doing like an interview. He was talking about how he doesn't want to play, you know, he doesn't want to play elves or dwarves or really fantasy leprechaun like characters, because I suppose he finds them. Yeah, I suppose he finds them degrading. So I don't know. I guess it's something that you could think about if you cared. I really don't care to think about it too much or look into it too much, because, whatever. I guess that's all I've got to say about Leprechaun 4. I don't know, man.